While changing the face of the Indian cricket establishment, the Supreme Court today took the BCCI out of N. Srinivasan's control and handed it over to Sunil Gavaskar for IPL 7, while Vice President Shivlal Yadav will be the BCCI boss for all other matters. The court also allowed the Chennai team and the Rajasthan teams to play in the IPL despite the adverse comments that they had made yesterday. I spoke earlier to senior lawyer Harish Salve, who had in fact yesterday said in court that Mahendra Singh Dhoni had lied to the probe committee and about the betting scandal. In fact, Mr. Salve, what is your reaction then to the Supreme Court order today and their attempt to clean up cricket?
My reaction is, Nidhi, I'm sad that this has happened. I'm sad that this has happened because I'm sad that cricket is in this state. Mr. Gavaskar is not only a very respected sports person, a very respected Indian, but yet he is an outsider from the BCCI. And that the Supreme Court found it necessary to bring an outsider to look after the IPL speaks volumes. And this is not a happy day for Indian cricket administration. And I'm also sad on a personal note because there was a time my father used to head this organization, and that time it wasn't that big, it didn't have this kind of money. And they built up, India has become the global center of cricket today. We all know that. And, a lot of people are unhappy about the fact India is the global center of cricket, and they'll all be cocking a snook at us today.
Mr. Salve, you made a pretty strong attack on Mahendra Singh Dhoni in court, accusing him of lying and covering up. But the BCCI has strongly defended him today and in fact told the Supreme Court that he hasn't lied.
See, I'm a little disturbed at what has happened. I read the committee report. When I read the committee report, I was primarily focusing on Mr. Srinivasan. The committee report says Srinivasan, MS Dhoni and India Cement officials appeared before the committee and contended that Mayappan was a cricket enthusiast, he had nothing to do with CSK. The committee then goes about systematically examining evidence about his accreditation cards, about the manner in which he was participating with the teams, he was intermingling with the teams, he was in the players' dugouts, he was in the auctions. Now, Mr. Dhoni knew all this. What was the need for him to make an inaccurate statement to the committee? If he says he didn't say that to the committee and this issue came up, he could have written a respectful letter to Chief Justice Mudgal saying, sorry, you seem to have misunderstood what I said, sir, I didn't say this. But to get up and start screaming and saying that this is a scurrilous allegation, then are you suggesting that the committee is making a scurrilous allegation? And now, what is the troublesome thing? The troublesome thing, Nidhi, is if you are the organization which is disciplining the sport, and you get a report of a committee of the Supreme Court which says A, B, and C have come and tried to cover up for somebody. Would you scream that allegation is scurrilous, or would you call all of them and say, will you explain your conduct, please? Failing which, out you go. So BCCI is now completely supporting the cause of everybody against whom the committee has something to say. Is that the role of a disciplinary organization? I think they have lost the balance on this somewhere.
No, so the question really is then, do you believe then that Mahendra Singh Dhoni needs to be investigated further in light of what you're saying?
Absolutely. It will have to be, not in light of what I have said. Please, in the light of what the committee has found. The committee has found three things. The committee has found Mayappan was a team official. The committee has found that BCCI was running an argument saying even if Mayappan is responsible, do not punish India Cements. And the committee has found, despite egregious evidence of Mayappan's involvement in CSK, Mr. Srinivasan, Mr. Dhoni and other officials came and said he had no involvement with CSC. The committee has found this. Now, if this is what the committee has found, action will have to be taken against the franchisee, i.e. India Cements. Action will have to be, and why? The definition of corruption is whoever tries to cover up is also guilty of corruption. So, if it is correct, as the committee has found, that they have taken this position, it's an attempt to cover up. If it is an attempt to cover up, the franchise is liable to be is terminated and action taken. Now BCCI should be the policeman, instead it is being their lawyer. Now that's a very sad situation, and therefore all this will have to be actioned. All of them will have to be actioned against.
Right. The other question though, Mr. Salve, is what exactly is Mr. N. Srinivasan's status today? The Supreme Court has said on one hand that Sunil Gavaskar will be president for the IPL and that Shivlal Yadav will be president for everything else. So at the moment, what exactly is N. Srinivasan's status? Is he president of the BCCI on a break, who stepped aside? What is he?
No, he will. No, they are very clear. He will not function. He cannot function as president. He cannot discharge any presidential functions. It is virtually like staying the operation of his presidential election, virtually, as it were.
Now, Mr. Salve, my final question to you is what you have said in the past yourself, that there needs to be a way to hold accountable those who bring shame to India's national honour. Do you believe that this could be the starting point to do just that?
I hope so. I hope so. And you know, this happened in the year 2000. I think you're referring to my tweets.
Yeah.
I tweeted about my past experience when the Supreme Court had ordered. I remember a bench presided over by Justice Thomas were most upset, and they said, you must investigate. CBI investigated. At that time as Solicitor General, they were consulting me. I've seen the kind of impeccable evidence they had, including videotaped confessions by bookies, naming people. And the reason they couldn't register an offence was, until the BCCI came and complained, it was a private action between the BCCI and its contractually engaged players. And that's where our case came apart. So we had no criminal case. BCCI said, leave it to us, we will do it in our own way. See, this BCCI repeatedly telling, my biggest worry today is that BCCI is now creating ground that tomorrow if the government wants to nationalize the management of cricket, public opinion will be for it, which may ultimately damage the game. I think the time has come for there to be a legislation under which these sports organizations function as autonomous bodies.
Right.
Subject them to fidelity checks, subject them to audits by the CAG, and subject them to the rules of transparency, and also make the players who wear national colors, who play in national tournaments, specified tournaments, make them accountable. If they are found guilty of any misconduct, they should be criminally liable.
Right.
I think the time has come for that.
Mr. Salve, I have to leave it at that tonight. Thank you for joining us. And here's hoping that the message that you're trying to get across about cleaning up Indian cricket does go across, and that someone is hearing it.